The smoke still rose from the ruins of Seoul. Giant alien warships hung in the gray sky like dark clouds that would never rain. Lee Min-jun stood in the rubble of what used to be the government building. His black suit was dusty but clean. His face showed no emotion as he watched the Zephyrian soldiers march past. 3 years of war had ended. Earth had lost. The Zephyrians were tall, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. Their technology was far beyond anything humans had ever seen. Their weapons could destroy entire city blocks in seconds. Their ships moved faster than light. They had conquered dozens of worlds before they came to Earth. Emperor Vex Thul stepped out of his golden transport ship. He was taller than the other Zephyrians, with bright silver marks on his arms that showed his rank. His 4 eyes looked down at the humans who waited for him. Behind him walked General Mordak and Ambassador Kilara. Humans of Earth. The Emperor's voice boomed across the ruins. A small device on his chest translated his words into human languages. Today, you surrender your world to the great Zephyrian Empire. You fought well for such a primitive species, but you were always going to lose. Lee Min-jun stepped forward. He was the senior diplomat chosen to speak for all of humanity. Military officers who had fought for 3 years now bowed their heads in defeat, but Lee Min-jun remained standing. Your Majesty, Lee Min-jun said, in a calm voice, we accept your terms. Emperor Vex Thul smiled. His teeth were sharp and white. Good. Your species will serve the Empire now. Your technology is weak, but your bodies are strong. You will work in our mines and factories. Some of your brightest minds will help us understand your world better. In the crowd of defeated humans, Park Soo-young watched quietly. She wore the uniform of a military intelligence officer, but now it meant nothing. Beside her, Kim Jae-ho looked angry. His hands were tied behind his back because he had led resistance fighters until the very end. We have rules for conquered species, General Mordak announced. You will follow them exactly. Any rebellion will be stopped quickly. We have destroyed civilizations for smaller crimes than disobedience. Ambassador Kilara stepped forward with a long scroll. These are your new laws. No weapons, no unauthorized gatherings, no attempts to contact other worlds. Your old government is ended. We rule now. Lee Min-jun listened to every word. He nodded at the right times and asked simple questions about the new rules. The other aliens watched from their ships. Some looked sorry for the humans. Others seemed bored. The Zephyrians had done this many times before. Your cities will be rebuilt to serve the Empire, Emperor Vex Thul continued. Your people will learn our language. Your children will be educated in our schools. In time, you may even be allowed to travel to other worlds as servants of the Empire. The ceremony took 2 hours. Human leaders signed papers that gave away their world. Military officers handed over their weapons. Scientists gave up their research. Everything that made Earth independent was gone. But something felt wrong to General Mordak. He had conquered many worlds, and defeated species usually acted in one of 2 ways. They either cried and begged for mercy, or they shouted and made threats they could not keep. The humans did neither. They were too calm, too accepting. Even their diplomat seemed almost comfortable with losing his entire world. As the ceremony ended, Lee Min-jun approached Emperor Vex's Thul. The human was much smaller than the alien ruler, but he did not seem afraid. Your Majesty, Lee Min-jun said quietly, before we part, may I say something? Emperor Vex Thul was amused. Speak, human. What final words do you have? Lee Min-jun looked directly into the Emperor's 4 eyes. His voice was soft but clear. Your Majesty, you fought brilliantly. Your tactics were perfect. Your technology is amazing. But you forgot. Rule number 1. The Emperor laughed. It was a deep, rumbling sound. You will understand soon enough, Lee Min-jun replied. Then he bowed politely. and walked away. General Mordak frowned. In all his years of conquest, no defeated species had ever spoken so calmly about rules that the Empire had supposedly broken. Usually, conquered people talked about revenge or justice or freedom. They did not mention mysterious rules, with the confidence of someone who knew a secret. Ambassador Kilara watched the human diplomat leave. Something about his words bothered her too. The way he spoke was not like someone who had lost everything. It was like someone who was just beginning a long game. Emperor Vexthul was still laughing as his transport ship lifted off. Humans and their strange ideas? He told his advisors. They speak of rules when their world is burning. No wonder. They lost so easily. But even as he spoke, the Emperor felt a small doubt in his mind. The human had seemed so sure of himself, so confident that the Empire had made some kind of mistake. Below them, Li Minjun walked through the ruins of Seoul. Other humans followed him, all moving with the same strange calm. Park Soo-young fell into step beside him, along with Kim Jae-ho, who had somehow gotten free of his bonds. "Did you see their faces?" Park Soo-young asked quietly. "The general suspects something," Li Minjun replied, "but the Emperor is too proud to listen." "What about the others?" Kim Jae-ho nodded toward the alien ships still hovering overhead. "They will learn," Li Minjun said. "We all will. The real education starts now." As night fell over the conquered Earth, the Zephyrian ships settled into their patrol patterns. The aliens thought they had won a war. They thought they had broken human spirit and taken human hope. They had no idea that the war was just beginning. And this time, the humans would not fight with guns and bombs and rockets. They would fight with something much more dangerous. They would fight with their minds. The first lesson would start tomorrow. 3 months had passed since Earth surrendered. The Zephyrian Empire was busy building their new colonial government. Massive construction ships worked day and night to repair the damaged cities. Human workers labored alongside alien machines, following orders without complaint. Emperor Vexthul sat in his new palace, built where the old United Nations building once stood. The palace was made of the same golden metal as his ships, rising high above the ruins of New York. From his throne room, he could see human workers rebuilding the city according to Zephyrian designs. But something bothered him. For 3 months, he had thought about the human diplomat's words. "You forgot rule number 1. What did it mean?" The Emperor had conquered 47 worlds, and no defeated species had ever spoken to him with such calm confidence. "Bring me the human diplomat," he told his guards. Li Minjun arrived an hour later. He wore simple gray clothes now, the uniform of a colonial worker. But he walked into the throne room as if he still represented a free world. His back was straight, his eyes were clear, and he showed no fear. "Your Majesty," Li Minjun bowed politely. "You wish to see me?" "Yes." Emperor Vexthul leaned forward on his throne. 3 months ago, you spoke of a rule I had forgotten. I want to know what you meant." Li Minjun smiled. It was not the smile of a defeated man. It was the smile of someone who had been waiting for this question. "Rule number 1, Li Minjun said clearly, is never underestimate human adaptability." The Emperor frowned. "Adaptability? Your species was completely defeated. Your weapons were useless against ours. Your ships could not even leave your solar system. What adaptability do you speak of? May I tell you a story, Your Majesty?" Emperor Vexthul waved one of his 4 hands. "Speak." 50 years ago, humans first detected signals from space. We knew we were not alone. For 50 years, we listened to those signals. We learned about the galactic community. We studied the languages, the politics, the technology. Most importantly, we studied the Zephyrian Empire. The Emperor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Impossible. We detected no human signals in space. Because we did not send any," Li Minjun replied. "We only listened. When your first scout ships arrived at the edge of our solar system, we were ready." Not to fight, Your Majesty. We were ready to learn. Learn what? Everything. How your ships work, how your weapons function, how your society is organized, how your military thinks. Li Minjun paused. How your empire can be improved. Emperor Vex Thul stood up from his throne. His tall form towered over the human. You speak as if you planned to lose this war. We did not plan to lose, Your Majesty. We planned to learn. There is a difference. For the first time in months, the Emperor felt uncertain. What are you saying? I am saying that humans have a gift, Your Majesty. When we face something stronger than us, we do not just fight. We study. We adapt. We find ways to turn our weaknesses into strengths. Li Minjun's voice remained calm and respectful. Your empire is strong because it conquers, but humans are strong because we learn. The Emperor sat back down. You lost your world. Your people work in our factories. Your military is destroyed. What have you learned? That matters. We have learned how to build your ships, Li Minjun said simply. The throne room fell silent. Emperor Vex Thul stared at the human diplomat. That is impossible. Our technology is far beyond your understanding. 3 months ago, yes, but humans learn quickly, Your Majesty. We have been working in your factories, repairing your ships, maintaining your equipment. Every day, we understand more. The Emperor's hands gripped the arms of his throne. Even if what you say is true, you have no resources to build ships. We have your resources, Your Majesty. You have put humans in charge of mining operations on 6 continents. You have given us access to your manufacturing plants. You have taught us to use your tools and machines. Li Minjun's smile grew slightly. You have been very generous teachers. Are you threatening me? Emperor Vex Thul's voice was low and dangerous. No, Your Majesty. I am explaining. Humans do not threaten. We adapt. Li Minjun bowed again. We have learned from you. Now perhaps you can learn from us. Before the Emperor could respond, General Mordak entered the throne room. His face looked worried. Your Majesty, the general said. We have reports from the industrial sectors. Human workers have been making unauthorized improvements to our equipment. What kind of improvements? Emperor Vex Thul asked. Better efficiency, faster production. Some of our engineers say the changes are remarkable. The humans seem to understand our technology better than expected. Li Minjun nodded. Humans are very good at making things work better, Your Majesty. The Emperor looked between his general and the human diplomat. What else have your people learned? What? We have learned your language faster than any species in galactic history. We have learned to operate your computers, your vehicles, your communication systems. Some humans have even learned to pilot your smaller ships. Li Minjun paused. We are quick learners. General Mordak stepped closer to the throne. Your Majesty, there is something else. The resistance activities have been strange. Strange how? They are not trying to cause major damage. Instead, they seem designed to test our security systems, as if someone is studying our weaknesses. Li Minjun said nothing, but his eyes showed a hint of amusement. Emperor Vex's Thul stood up again. His forearms spread wide in a gesture of frustration. What do you want, human? Right now? Nothing, Your Majesty. We are still learning. But I thought you should know that the lessons have begun. What lessons? The lessons you are teaching us. And perhaps, in time, the lessons we might teach you. Li Minjun bowed one more time. Rule number 1. Your Majesty, never underestimate human adaptability. I thought it was important that you understand this. The Emperor watched as the human diplomat left the throne room. For several minutes, he said nothing. Finally, He turned to General Mordak. "Double the surveillance on human activities," he ordered. "I want reports on everything they do." "Yes, Your Majesty. But what if they are telling the truth?" Emperor Vexthul was quiet for a long moment. Outside the palace windows, human workers moved through the rebuilt streets. They looked like servants of the Empire. But now, the Emperor wondered what else they might be. "Then we will learn too," he said finally. "We will learn what humans are really capable of." But deep inside, the Emperor knew that the learning had already begun. And he was starting to suspect that his empire was about to discover something new about the species they thought they had conquered. 6 months after the conquest, the Zephyrian Empire was beginning to see problems they had not expected. Emperor Vexthul received daily reports that made him more and more uncomfortable. The humans were not behaving like other conquered species. In the communications center of the orbital station above Earth, Park Soo-young worked as a translator. The Zephyrians had given her this job because she learned their language faster than anyone expected. What they did not know was that she understood much more than language. "Message from the mining colony on Kepler 442. A Zephyrian officer announced. "They need more equipment." Park Soo-young listened carefully as she translated the message. She memorized the colony's location, the type of equipment they needed, and the shipping routes mentioned. Later, she would share this information with other humans through their hidden network. "The humans in Sector 7 have increased production by 30%, another officer reported. "Their supervisor says they are natural workers." Park Soo-young translated this too, but she smiled inside. The humans in Sector 7 were not just working hard. They were studying every piece of equipment they touched, learning how Zephyrian technology worked from the inside. On the surface, Kim Jae-ho led what the aliens thought was a small resistance group. His people carried out minor attacks against Zephyrian facilities. They cut communication cables, damaged vehicles, and caused small disruptions. The attacks seemed desperate and poorly planned, but each attack had a real purpose. When Kim Jae-ho's team cut cables, they studied how Zephyrian communication systems worked. When they damaged vehicles, they learned about alien engineering. When they caused disruptions, they watched how the Empire's security forces responded. "Sir, the human resistance hit another transport depot," reported Captain Zixthok to General Mordak. "Minor damage only. They seem to be getting weaker." General Mordak studied the report. Unlike his emperor, he had begun to notice patterns. "Show me the locations of all resistance attacks in the last month." The captain projected a map of Earth. Small red dots marked each attack. General Mordak frowned as he studied the pattern. "These attacks," he said slowly, "they cover every type of facility we have. Communications, transportation, manufacturing, defense, almost as if someone wanted to learn about all our operations." "Sir?" "Never mind." But General Mordak made a note to increase security around sensitive areas. In the rebuilt city of Tokyo, Lee Min-jun worked as a cultural advisor. His official job was to help Zephyrian administrators understand human customs. His real job was much more complex. "Advisor Lee," said Administrator Kelnath, "the human workers in the shipyard are asking many questions about the faster-than-light drive systems. Humans are curious by nature." Lee Min-jun replied smoothly. "They learn better when they understand how things work. But some of their questions seem very advanced, as if they already understand basic principles. Perhaps some of our scientists studied similar theories before the war," Lee Min-jun suggested. Human curiosity has always been strong. What Lee Min-jun did not mention was that human scientists had been studying Zephyrian technology for months. Every human worker in every facility was gathering information. They shared what they learned through a network the aliens had not discovered. The network used the Zephyrians' own communication systems. Humans had learned to send hidden messages within normal work reports. They disguised technical information as cultural data. They embedded engineering plans in poetry and art. "Administrator," Li Minjun continued. I have a suggestion. If you allow the humans to understand the technology better, they will be more efficient workers. Perhaps you could provide some basic, technical education. Interesting idea, Administrator Kelnath mused. More efficient workers would benefit the Empire. Exactly. Humans work better when they understand their tasks. Within days, Administrator Kelnath had authorized technical training programs for human workers. The Zephyrians thought they were creating better servants. In reality, they were providing advanced education to their most adaptable students. Park Soo-young attended one of these training sessions. The Zephyrian instructor explained how their quantum communication systems worked. Park Soo-young asked innocent questions that made the instructor explain even more details. You humans learn quickly, the instructor commented. Much faster than most species. We try our best to serve the Empire, Park Soo-young replied humbly. But that night, she shared everything she had learned with other humans. Within a week, human scientists had built their own quantum communicator, using parts salvaged from damaged Zephyrian equipment. Kim Jae-ho's resistance group made their next move carefully. They targeted a supply convoy carrying rare metals from Earth to the orbital stations. The attack appeared to be another desperate attempt to cause damage. The resistance stole some rare Earth elements, Captain Ziegstoke reported to General Mordak. About 2 tons of processed tritanium and quantum crystals. Interesting. General Mordak studied the report. What would humans want with those materials? Probably to sell on the black market, sir. Or maybe they think they can build weapons. But General Mordak knew that tritanium and quantum crystals had very specific uses. They were essential components for faster-than-light engines and communication systems. Materials that humans should not even know how to identify. He decided to visit Emperor Vex's Thule with his concerns. Your Majesty, General Mordak said as he entered the throne room, I believe the humans are not what they appear to be. Explain. Their resistance activities target exactly the right materials for advanced technology. Their workers learn our systems too quickly. Their questions are too intelligent. I think they are studying us. Emperor Vex Thule was quiet for several moments. Bring me the human diplomat again. An hour later, Li Minjun stood before the throne once more. This time, General Mordak stood beside the Emperor. Human, Emperor Vex Thule said. My general believes your people are plotting something. Plotting, Your Majesty? Li Minjun looked genuinely puzzled. Then why are your workers asking so many technical questions? Because humans learn by asking questions, Your Majesty. It is our nature. And the resistance activities? Li Minjun sighed sadly. Some humans have not yet accepted the new reality. They strike out in anger and desperation. I wish I could stop them. But they do not listen to diplomatic solutions. General Mordak stepped forward. The materials they steal are very specific. Components for advanced technology. I would not know about such things, Li Minjun replied. I am only a diplomat. Emperor Vex Thule studied the human carefully. Li Minjun seemed sincere, but there was something in his eyes, the same confidence the Emperor had noticed 6 months ago. Human, the Emperor said slowly. Are your people planning something I should know about? Li Minjun smiled the same calm smile he had worn during the surrender ceremony. Your Majesty, humans are always planning something. We plan how to work better, how to serve more efficiently, how to understand the Empire's needs. We are very good at planning. That is not what I meant. I know, Your Majesty. Li Minjun bowed politely. But it is the only answer I can give you. Humans adapt. We learn. We plan. It is simply our nature. After the human left, Emperor Vex Thule turned to his general. What do you think? I think they are more dangerous than we realized, Your Majesty. Not because they resist, but because they learn. Then we watch them more carefully. But both aliens knew that watching might not be enough. The humans were changing faster than any conquered species in galactic history. The question was, changing into what? 1 year after the conquest, the truth finally came to light. It started with a simple accident that was not an accident at all. Park Soo-young was working her regular shift in the Orbital Communications Center when she accidentally triggered a system scan. The scan revealed something impossible: unauthorized quantum signals coming from the surface of Earth. "Alert! Alert!" the Zephyrian computers announced. "Unknown faster-than-light transmissions detected from Sector 12. The Zephyrian officers rushed to their stations. Captain Zeekthok stared at his screen in shock. "Sir, these signals are using our own encryption codes." "That's impossible," his supervisor replied. "Only Imperial forces have those codes." But as they tracked the signals, the truth became clear. The transmissions were coming from a human facility. Not only were humans sending faster-than-light messages, they were using Zephyrian technology to do it. Within hours, General Mordock had assembled a strike team. They surrounded the facility in Sector 12, expecting to find a hidden resistance base. Instead, they found something much more shocking. The building looked like an ordinary human factory. But inside, humans were working with advanced technology that rivaled anything in the Empire. Quantum computers hummed quietly. Faster-than-light communication arrays sent signals across the galaxy. Manufacturing equipment produced components that some Zephyrians did not even recognize. "Surrender immediately," General Mordock announced as his soldiers entered the facility. The humans stopped working and raised their hands. But they did not look afraid. They looked like people who had been waiting for this moment. Kim Jae-ho stepped forward. He was no longer dressed as a resistance fighter. He wore the uniform of a chief engineer, with insignia that showed advanced technical training. "General," Kim Jae-ho said calmly, "we have been expecting you. You are under arrest for unauthorized use of Imperial technology." "Actually," Kim Jae-ho replied, "we are using human technology. We built all of this ourselves." General Mordock looked around the facility again. The technology was clearly based on Zephyrian designs, but there were improvements everywhere. Efficiency modifications that his own engineers had not thought of. Integration systems that worked better than Imperial standards. "This is impossible," he said. "No, General. This is human adaptability." But the investigation that followed revealed the scope of what humans had accomplished. In 1 year, they had reverse-engineered most Zephyrian technology. They had built their own manufacturing capabilities. They had established communication networks that connected with human facilities around the globe and in space. Most shocking of all, they had already made contact with other worlds. Emperor Vex Thul sat in his throne room reading reports that made no sense. According to his intelligence officers, humans had been communicating with the Zephyrian homeworld for months. They had also contacted several other alien species, including some that were not part of the Empire. "Bring me Lee Min-jun," he ordered. Now, this time, when Lee Min-jun entered the throne room, he was not alone. Park Soo-young and Kim Jae-ho walked with him. All three humans wore simple gray uniforms, but they carried themselves differently now. Like equals, not servants. "Your Majesty," Lee Min-jun bowed, but the gesture seemed more formal than submissive. "You wanted to see us." "I want explanations," Emperor Vex Thul said. His 4 hands gripped his throne tightly. "My reports say that humans have built unauthorized technology, contacted foreign governments, and somehow learned to duplicate Imperial systems. I want to know how." "We told you, Your Majesty," Park Soo-young said. "Humans learn quickly. Learning and building are different things. You have created technology that takes most species centuries to develop." Kim Jae-ho stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we did not create new technology. We improved yours." "Improved?" "Yes. Human engineering focuses on efficiency and simplicity. We took your complex systems and made them work better with fewer resources. Emperor Vex Thul stood up from his throne. Are you saying human technology is superior to imperial technology? No, Your Majesty, Li Minjun replied. We are saying that combined technology is superior to either one alone. The Emperor paused. This was not what he had expected to hear. Combined technology? Human creativity with Zephyrian knowledge. Your advanced science with our practical engineering. Your galactic perspective with our adaptive thinking. Li Minjun's voice remained calm and respectful. Separately, we are both strong. Together, we could be unstoppable. General Mordak entered the throne room carrying a data pad. His face showed a mixture of concern and amazement. Your Majesty, he said. I have more reports. The humans have not just been building technology. They have been sharing it. Sharing it with whom? With us, Your Majesty. The efficiency improvements in our factories, the better communication systems, the enhanced manufacturing processes. All of these were developed by human workers and quietly integrated into our operations. Emperor Vex Thul stared at his general. You mean humans have been improving imperial technology without authorization? Yes, sir. And the improvements are remarkable. Production is up 40% across all sectors. Communication reliability has improved by 60%. Some of our own engineers are requesting to study human modifications. The throne room fell silent. Emperor Vex Thul looked at the three humans standing before him. They had not fought his empire. They had not tried to destroy his forces. Instead, they had quietly made everything work better. Why? He asked finally. Your Majesty, Li Minjun replied. Humans do not conquer. We cooperate. We saw your empire and realized it had great potential, but it also had inefficiencies that we could improve. Two. So you decided to help us without permission? We decided to show you what cooperation could accomplish, Park Soo-young said. Every human facility that built unauthorized technology also increased production for the empire. Every communication array we constructed also improved imperial operations. Kim Jae-ho nodded. The resistance activities were not meant to damage your empire. They were meant to study it, understand it, and find ways to make it work better. Emperor Vex Thul sat back down. For the first time in his long career as a conqueror, he felt completely outmaneuvered. The humans had not defeated him in battle. They had not destroyed his forces or stolen his territory. They had made him dependent on them. What do you want? He asked. Partnership, Your Majesty, Li Minjun said simply. We want to be part of the empire, not servants of it. We want to contribute our skills to galactic civilization. And if I refuse? The three humans exchanged glances. Then Li Minjun smiled the same confident smile he had worn during the surrender ceremony 1 year ago. Your Majesty, he said, look around your empire. Look at the improved technology, the better efficiency, the enhanced operations. All of this came from human cooperation. The question is not what happens if you refuse our partnership. The question is, what happens if you lose it? For the first time in his reign, Emperor Vex Thul realized he might be looking at beings who were more powerful than his entire empire. Not because they could destroy it, but because they had already become essential to it. The final meeting between Emperor Vexus Thul and Li Minjun took place in a room that had been redesigned by human engineers. The walls were still made of Zephyrian golden metal, but the lighting was softer. The furniture was more comfortable, and the technology worked twice as efficiently as before. Emperor Vexus Thul looked different too. The stress of the past year had changed him. He had been forced to confront the possibility that his mighty empire was not as advanced as he had believed. Diplomat Li, the Emperor said as Li Minjun entered the room. I have been thinking about our previous conversations. Yes, Your Majesty? You spoke of rules, of human adaptability. Of cooperation instead of conquest. Emperor Vex Thul leaned forward. I want to understand what you really planned. Li Minjun took a seat across from the Emperor. For the first time in their meetings, they sat as equals rather than conqueror and conquered. Your Majesty, may I ask you a question? First? Speak. When your empire conquers a world, what happens to the knowledge and skills of that species? Emperor Vex Thul considered this. They become servants. Their knowledge serves the empire. But what if their knowledge could improve the empire, instead of just serving it? The Emperor was quiet for a moment. Explain. Your empire is strong because it takes resources from many worlds. But what if it could combine the best ideas from many species? Human creativity, Zephyrian science, Altarian mathematics, Centauri art. Not conquest, but collaboration. You are suggesting an alliance? I am suggesting evolution, Your Majesty. The next step, in galactic civilization. Li Minjun stood and walked to a wall display. With a gesture, he activated a holographic map of the galaxy. For 1 year, humans have been working within your empire. We have improved your technology, increased your efficiency, and enhanced your operations. But we have also been communicating with other species. Red dots appeared on the galactic map, showing communication links. We have spoken with the Rigelians about their agricultural techniques. We have discussed mathematics with the Altarians. We have shared art with the Centauri colonies. Li Minjun turned to face the Emperor. All of these species have skills that could benefit a true galactic civilization. A civilization that is not based on conquest? A civilization that is based on cooperation, where each species contributes what it does best, and all species benefit from the combined knowledge. Emperor Vex Thul studied the map. The communication networks showed connections between dozens of worlds, many of them species that his empire had conquered. The other species trust you? They trust the idea of working together instead of being dominated. Humans have become interpreters, facilitators, and coordinators. We help species understand each other and find ways to cooperate. The Emperor stood and walked to the map. What role does the Zephyrian Empire play in this new civilization? The same role we hope humanity will play, Your Majesty. Contributors, not rulers. Partners, not masters. And if I disagree with this vision? Li Minjun's expression remained calm. Then you will watch as the galaxy changes around you. The communication networks are already established. The cooperative relationships are already forming. Species are already working together in ways they never have before. You are saying I no longer have a choice. You have the most important choice, Your Majesty. You can lead this change, or you can be left behind by it. The room fell silent as Emperor Vex Thul considered these words. Finally, he spoke. What would you call this new civilization? We have been calling it the Cooperative Alliance. Each species maintains its independence, but works together for mutual benefit. And you believe this will be better than the Empire? Li Minjun gestured to the room around them. Your Majesty, look at what 1 year of cooperation has accomplished. Your technology works better. Your operations are more efficient. Your people are more productive. Now imagine what 100 years of cooperation could achieve. Emperor Vex Thul was quiet for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was thoughtful. The Empire has conquered for 1,000 years. It is difficult to imagine a different way. Change is always difficult, Your Majesty. But adaptation is survival. The Emperor turned to face Li Minjun directly. If I agree to this alliance, what happens to my authority? You become the leader of the Zephyrian contribution to galactic civilization. Your species' knowledge of space travel, energy systems, and military organization becomes part of the shared knowledge that benefits everyone, including former enemies, especially former enemies. The species that know you best are often the ones who can work with you most effectively. Emperor Vex Thul walked back to his chair. Tell me about these new rules you mentioned when Earth surrendered. Lee Min-jun smiled. Rule number 1. Never underestimate any species' ability to adapt and contribute. And rule number 2? Cooperation always achieves more than conquest. Rule number 3? Diversity of thought creates stronger solutions than uniformity of power. The emperor considered these rules. They were unlike anything in imperial doctrine. But the past year had shown their effectiveness. Human, Emperor, Vexthul said finally, you have presented me with a choice between holding on to an old empire or building a new civilization. Yes, Your Majesty. If I choose civilization, what guarantees do I have that the Zephyrian people will be respected and valued? The same guarantee that humans had when we surrendered to your empire, Your Majesty. Trust. And the understanding that everyone benefits when everyone contributes. Emperor Vexthul was silent for several minutes. Outside the windows, he could see ships from a dozen different species working together on construction projects. Zephyrian vessels worked alongside human ships, Rigelian transports, and Altarian research craft. Very well, he said at last. I accept your proposal for this cooperative alliance. Lee Min-jun bowed deeply. Your Majesty, you will not regret this decision. I hope not. But I have one condition. Yes, Your Majesty? I want to be personally involved in establishing the new protocols. If the Zephyrian Empire is to become part of something larger, I want to help build it properly. That would be an honor, Your Majesty. 6 months later, representatives from 47 species gathered on Earth for the first Galactic Cooperation Council. Emperor Vexthul served as co-chairman alongside Lee Min-jun and leaders from 12 other species. The new civilization grew rapidly. Technologies that had taken centuries to develop individually were improved in years through cooperative research. Art and culture flourished as different species shared their creative traditions. Conflicts that had lasted generations were resolved through mediation and mutual understanding. Years later, as Lee Min-jun walked through the halls of the Galactic Cooperation Center, he met Emperor Vexthul, reviewing reports from the latest joint scientific expedition. Ambassador Lee, the Emperor said, using Lee Min-jun's new title. The reports from the Andromeda research team are remarkable. Combining human, Zephyrian, and Altarian scientists has produced discoveries none of our species could have made alone. Cooperation tends to do that, Your Majesty. Emperor Vexthul smiled. It was a genuine expression of satisfaction, very different from the arrogant smiles of his conquering days. Tell me honestly, he said. When you surrendered Earth, did you know this would happen? Lee Min-jun considered the question carefully. I knew humans would adapt, Your Majesty. I knew we would find a way to contribute. But the full scope of what cooperation could achieve? That has exceeded even our hopes. Rule number 1, Emperor Vexthul said quietly. Rule number 1, Lee Min-jun agreed. The two leaders stood in comfortable silence, watching through the windows as ships from across the galaxy worked together to build humanity's greatest achievement. A civilization where strength came not from conquest, but from the willingness to learn, adapt, and grow together.